probably the largest crowd besides the general session at RDC. And so I know that there's, again, a large number of people here, and I think that's amazing. You guys are going to get some great information. Just to tell you a little bit about Aaron, he started in August of '06. He's over $410,000 in career sales. He is a 7-time All-American winner. He is one of those was a #1, which was in the spring of 2010. He's had 14 10K pushes and 2 20K pushes. So he knows how to bring it as well. So, and he always delivers. Aaron's won a number of trips with the company. I've taken Aaron to Jamaica. I've taken him to Cancun a couple of times, Puerto Vallarta. He's been to Prague. He's also won the Disney World trip that we had, which is pretty cool since it's right here. Aaron also ran a branch office for us 2008? Yep. Yeah, 2008 Aaron ran a branch office that did over $160,000 in sales, but also had an average order in his office of $489. So every representative that he worked with all together averaged $489 average order as an office. Pretty amazing number. A lot of that starts, of course, with the phone. He's built his lead base from scratch 6 times. You know, I've talked to Aaron for a number of years. He's lived in Orlando before. He's lived in Tampa, where he lives now. He's lived in Fort Myers. He's traveled around all over Florida, and he's recreated his lead base multiple times. You know, and so it's really good, and a lot of that starts by the phone. Also, he's very good at the phone. He can book 1 out of 3 calls. He books an appointment. That's his averages. 1 out of 3. So, which is pretty cool. He enjoys reading, writing. He enjoys soccer, Philadelphia Eagles, long walks on the beach, cuddling, teaching. Aaron does work with a lot of people, helps mentor people. He really enjoys that aspect of our business, being able to give back. He's a DJ. Some of you guys probably seen some of his stuff online. Pretty cool stuff. And a lot of other cool stuff is what he actually put here. Other cool stuff. So I guess we can define that however we like. He has also won a state championship in soccer in high school. So he knows how to bring it and deliver at a high level. And he's going to do that exact same thing for you here today. Talking about the phone. Let's give it up for Aaron Ludin, guys.
All right, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every one of you sitting on the floor, taking notes. Those of you that know me, you probably know why you're here. Those of you that don't know me, I promise you, you picked the right breakout to come to. Regardless of what you were excited about learning, I'm going to teach you something that is going to revolutionize your business completely. Let's say that one more time. What I'm going to teach you, is this even really working? Not really. Cutting in. Is this cutting in and out, or is it just me? Okay. I'm going to teach you guys something that's going to totally revolutionize your business. Okay? So, I want you guys to picture this. Close your eyes really quickly. Close your eyes. I want you to picture that you're walking through this hotel. Alright? And you get a little bit lost. You're trying to find your way back to your room. This is, cut that. Basically, you're trying to find your way back to your room. You get a little lost. This place is pretty complicated, right? And you come across the room and you see this big room with a big glass door. And you look inside the room. And when you look into the room, what you see in it surprises you, because what you see is a room full of everything that you have ever wanted in your life. When I say everything you've ever wanted, you see your dream house, exactly like you picture it, right there. You see your dream car, your dream spouse, piles of money, all sorts of things. Anything you've ever wanted, you see it right through this glass door. And you're looking in the room and you're like, there's everything I want in my life. It's right here, right? Now, by the way, raise your hand if you want to go inside the door and say, I. I. All right. Well, the only problem is when you get to the door and you go to open it, you realize there is no doorknob. You can't open the door. All you have is a stack of papers with lists of names and numbers on them and a telephone. That's it. And here's the thing. One of those numbers is the key. One of those phone numbers will unlock the door, but there's thousands to go through. There's thousands of numbers to call. But one of those combinations of 10 digits will unlock that door. What would you do? 1,000 numbers to dig through. You got to find the right 10 digits. What would you do? So, am I not allowed to use the mic? He's allowed to use the mic. All right, I'm going to use the mic. So, you look in there, and you see everything you've ever wanted, and you look at it, you're going, I know there's 10 digits that'll get me in the door, but which 10 are they? What do I do? How many of you would dial every single dang number on that sheet? Raise your hand and say, I. Now, Now, I'm going to talk about today how to open up the door, okay? I'm going to go over a lot of different things with you guys. I'm going to go over some stuff you may have heard before, some things you haven't heard before, but I'm going to have a new spin on everything you've heard and new stuff with the new stuff, all right? So, at the end of this, I'm going to teach you guys how to leave messages. I'm going to teach you guys how to send texts, emails, all sorts of things to make sure that you treat every single rec like you cherish it, like it's gold, okay? I know you heard Dan say that right now I tend to book. My average is actually 1 out of 3.1 phone calls I make. It's an exact calculated average. 1 out of 3.1 phone calls, I book an appointment. So basically, I will book 90%, if not more than 90%, of the people that pick the phone up, and about 30% of the people that don't pick the phone up. That 30% will probably be enough to revolutionize each and every one of your businesses. Would you agree? Raise your hand if you would. Yeah. So I was talking to someone earlier today, and he said to me, you know, how's this breakout going to be? Am I going to learn new stuff? You know, I'm pretty good on the phones already. How many of you would consider yourself decent on the phones already? Raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Everyone, you're at RDC for a reason. You're the upper level of your office, right? You're the key staff and up. You all know how to make calls. You've all heard a million phone talks, right? But the difference is if you can get better at something you're already good at. See, a lot of people try to improve their weaknesses. But sometimes when you improve your strengths, it becomes a game changer. Right? Imagine an extra 30% of the calls you make getting booked. I don't know about you, but if you just doubled your appointments, let's say, it doesn't matter if you get better at anything, what's going to happen? Double your sales. Cool? So I'm going to give you guys a couple keys, and there's really 4 things. 4 things. Now, by the way, imagine not needing to worry about money because you know you have enough of it. You don't need to think about it. Right? The key starts with all that. Now, before I dive in, I know a lot of people like to ask sometimes. People ask me, how do you stay motivated to make the calls? That's what most people's issue is. Who's ever had a problem getting motivated? Raise your hand. Everybody again. Well, I want to teach you something. The key to motivation. You guys ready? You might want to write this down. The key to motivation. It's really simple. It's a secret I learned a long time ago. The key to motivation is you don't need motivation. You just need energy. That's all you need. You need energy. You don't need motivation. All you need is energy. Why? Because if you're excited, if you're focused, if you're driven, and if you're in what I like to call state, right, in a peak emotional state, when you're in a determined state. Who's ever done an assignment and you spent like 15 hours doing like a 10-minute assignment? Who's ever done that? Raise your hand. Because you're distracted. Who's ever been totally in the zone, like focused, like cramming for an exam or something, and knocked out everything in less time it should have taken? So raise your hand. What's the difference? Your state. So really quickly, I know we don't have a lot of space. Some of you are already standing up. I want everyone to stand up really fast. We're going to try a quick exercise just to get you guys in a state. Because I want you to feel what you're supposed to feel before you ever pick up a phone to dial. You guys ready? Yeah. All right. Really quick, on the count of 3, I want everyone to pump your fist up without punching your neighbor in the face. But actually, we'll just do this. You'll just clap your hands and you'll go, yes, yes, yes. On 3. You ready? As loud as you can. I need everyone fully involved. Cool? 1, 2, 3. Yes, yes, yes. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes, yes, yes. 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 Who's in a different state? Raise your hand. Now you're ready to make the calls. Go ahead and sit down. How long, guys? How long did that take?
Like 10 seconds.
5 seconds. Now, I want you guys to learn something. If you don't learn anything else at this conference, get this one idea. Every key to this business is really, really easy to do. It's also really, really easy not to do. Everything in this business, in this Cutco business, everything that makes you successful is so easy to do, it's also so easy to skip. It's really easy to ask for an order. It's really easy to skim past it. It's really easy to ask for leads. It's really easy to not really care about the leads. It's really easy to make your phone calls and make 10 calls one night. It's also easy to say you'll do it tomorrow. Right? It's really easy to do what we just did. Who had a hard time? Nobody. Well, do it every time before you get on the phones, and I guarantee you, if you take nothing out of this message, you won't even know you just learned the biggest golden nugget at the conference until you go home and you try it and you realize you're in the zone when you get on the phones. Yeah. All right? So that's the first thing, is making sure that you got the motivation. Now, there are 4 keys to the phones. You might want to write these down. Number 1 is your attitude. Attitude. Number 2 is your personality. 3 is your wording. And 4 are your methods. So it's attitude, personality, wording, and methods. What's number 1? Attitude. Attitude. Your attitude will dictate your results on the phone. Your attitude on the phone will dictate your results. When I said I book 90% of the people that pick up and 30% of the people that don't pick up, do I look pretty confident when I say that? Yeah, because that is my attitude. If you pick up, I'm going to book a demo with you. Because I'm not going to let myself, my lack of urgency, or my lack of enthusiasm, or my lack of caring about each individual number, stop that individual that I'm calling from getting the opportunity to make the best purchase they've ever made. It's on me. It's my responsibility to give them a chance to say yes to buying Cutco. Because they can't buy it unless I show it to them. And I can't show it to them unless I find a way for them to say yes to the appointment. That's my responsibility as a rep. I owe it to the customer to not settle. When they tell me they're too busy, to not let them be too busy. Why? Because they're going to want the knives when they see them. But how easily could you screw it up by not taking that enthusiasm? You guys get what I'm saying? Yes or yes? Yes. All right. I had to give Matthew Kelly a little, had to jack something from him, right? All right. So, the only thing you want to write down is motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. Do not sit still with a wired phone. This is death. All right, that's like shooting yourself in the foot. I remember, I remember jamming with Mike Arrieta back in the day, and Mike, you hand him a corded phone, and he'll look at you like, "What the heck is this machine?" You know, he has to be moving. I'm the same way. I'm walking around. People that are in Tampa, they see me. I'll stick my stuff down where there's like 6 people, but when I'm second the phone starts ringing, I'm walking around the office. I'm moving. Motion creates emotion, and emotion books demos. Emotion books demos. Everyone in this room knows how to go through the approach and gets people to say yes. But do your customers feel an energy coming from you when you talk to them? Because if they do, they're going to say yes. Does that make sense? So, motion creates emotion. The second key is personality. Personality. All right? Personality. Customers want to see somebody that they're going to enjoy seeing. Sounds really simple, but if you're "Hello, Mrs. Jones. My name is Johnny, and I'm calling because I'm working on a scholarship, and I want to come over and show you some knives and demonstrate some of the products the company has to offer." They're like, I have to sit down. Not only do they listen to some sales pitch, but I have to listen to that guy, and he's boring. It's boring. Nobody wants to go hear a boring person. If you don't sound excited to see them, why the hell would they be excited to see you? Even if they do say yes, they're like, psh. They're going to be so easy to blow it off because they're like, I got to see that stupid kid. Or if you sound dumb on the phone, or if you sound like, going on tangents, or you sound like you really don't want to see them, you're like, yeah, I have to do 10 appointments by Friday, so will you please see me? They're like, no. When I call them, I'm like, Mrs. Jones, Susie told me all about you. She told me you're the best. She told me we'd have a blast with each other. She didn't say you'd get anything. She just said you probably weren't too mean to take a quick look to help a college kid out. They're like, all right, cool. Like, you want them to be excited about your appointment. I want them to call me back, and this has happened once or twice, call me back after the demo is booked, before I see them, not to cancel, but to say, Aaron, I just want to tell you, I'm so fired up to see you on Friday, or I'm so excited to see you Saturday morning, like, I can't even sleep tonight because I'm excited for our appointment. I don't know what you're going to show me, but I'm excited to see what it's about. That's what you want, okay? So, personality. 3 words describe your personality on the phone. Number 1 is fun. What's number 1? Fun. Fun. Everyone's heard have fun on the phones. No, like, I am funny on the phones. If I can make them laugh, that is my goal. If they laugh, they book. You might want to write that down. If they laugh, they book. Make them laugh, they will see you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay, I love telling jokes to Mrs. Jones on the phone. I remember I was trying to book a service call, and this lady, I was like, how about Tuesday at 5:15? And I hear her in the background talking to her husband, and she's like, honey, what do we have at 5:15 on Tuesday? What do you have? And I hear him like, 5:15 on Tuesday. I think we, and I could hear them. I was like, I think you have a Cutco knife sharpening appointment. And the lady just started cracking up. They're like, yeah, we'll see you for Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, just have fun. Don't be afraid to have fun with your customers on the phone. Don't be afraid to have fun with your customers on the phone. Follow your approach. But if you have something funny to say that's not inappropriate, say it. Say it. If they laugh, they will book. Okay? It's that simple. I've heard people say all sorts of things at the beginning. Well, what is it? And they say something like, it's underwater toasters or some ridiculous crap that nobody buys. Right? And you're like, right? And they're like, no, I'm just kidding. Or call them up. It's like, okay, Susie said you might be able to help me out with something for school. They're like, okay, what is it? Well, I'm actually a student at University of South Florida. I'm studying marketing. But I have this huge trigonometry test coming up next week. And Susie told me you were a whiz at trig. And they're like, what? She said, I don't even know anything about math. Like, I'm an artist or something, It's like, I'm just kidding, Mrs. Jones. No, she didn't say you knew a lot about math. She just said that you might be nice to help me out, so I'm working on it. Go right in your approach. Whatever. You guys get the point, though. I'm not going to sit here and give you all the jokes you can use. Just don't be afraid to have fun on the phones. The second thing that should describe it is nonchalant. It is not a big deal. I am not going, please let me come over and sit down with you. And the way I get credit for my scholarship is to go over the products that the company has to offer. I think that is the worst way you can do a phone approach. Because now you're basically saying, I want to come do a sales pitch for you. Right? My approach is so nonchalant. It's like, hey, you know, you guys want to hear it really quick? I'll just run through it. I'm going to email it to everybody. One thing you want to write down really fast is Scholarship Revolution Coaching. Scholarship Revolution Coaching. If you look on Facebook under Scholarship Revolution Coaching, like it's a person, you'll find a page that has videos of every talk you could ever want to basically learn about. Okay, I post them personally. I'll post most of the RDC breakouts when we're done putting all the videos together. But write that down. All the approaches are under notes on that page. Every phone approach, every voicemail approach, every email approach, everything is on there. Okay? Scholarship Revolution Coaching. So, my approach is really simple. It's basically, and I know some of you aren't students. You're not going to have the exact same approach. That's cool. But here's my approach. All right? It's like ring, ring, ring. Hey, Susie. Hey, this is Aaron Ludin. How are you doing? Like, I know my name probably doesn't ring a bell. I'm actually a friend of your friend Betty. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, now, Betty did tell you I was going to be giving you a call, right? And I don't teach heads up, really, so they're usually like, no, oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry, Susie. I'm kind of embarrassed now. I thought Betty was going to let you know I was calling, and this was. I don't know what to say. It's kind of awkward. I thought you were going to know I was calling, and they're like, "Oh no, it's okay." Well, do you want me to call you back, or do you have a quick second to explain it? And they're like, "Well, yeah, no, it's cool. She's probably just busy, you know. Like, what is it?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." Right in my approach, money line, guys. All right. So you get into your approach, and you're like, they pick up. You go into it, and my approach is really simple. It's basically, I'm a student at the University of South Florida. I'm studying marketing, and this year I'm working with the local company, earning some scholarship credit and internship to pay for my tuition. And my assignment is really simple. That's why Susie helped me out. And my assignment is to show a product that Susie's had for 5 years to people I've been recommended to. Or my assignment is to show a product to people, a bunch of kitchen products to people I'm recommended to. But what's cool about it is I can get credit just to show it. So you don't have to get anything or buy something or anything like that. I just need to get people's quick opinion on them really quickly. And it's a lot of fun, it's quick and easy, and it helps you earn a scholarship from the company. It's pretty much the approach. Right? It's a lot of fun, it's quick and easy, it actually helps you earn a scholarship from the company. Now, so I was over to see Susie the other night. We had a blast. She told me to give you a call because she said, Betty, she wasn't sure whether or not you'd actually want anything. Just that you were really, really nice, you'd have a blast with it, and you probably wouldn't mind taking a quick look to help a college kid out. Or sometimes I say, you probably aren't too mean to take a quick look and help a college kid out. How nonchalant does that sound? Raise your hand if you think that sounds pretty nonchalant. It's low key. It's not a big deal. Okay? So I'm having fun. I'm nonchalant, right? What's number one? What's number two? Number three is the one that most reps skip. Be assertive. Be assertive. I'm fun. I'm nonchalant, but I definitely want an appointment with you. You follow me? I'm going to smile. I'm going to have fun, but I have a purpose with my phone call. Right? I'll make a joke, but you are going to see me. Okay? So, assertive. This is your swag, okay? You got to have some swag on the phone. You call them up and they're like, let me just give you one example, okay? Who's ever had the customer that constantly tells them to call them back? And you're like, what the heck? How do I get some? If you've told me to call you back at least twice, here's what's going to come out of my mouth. Mrs. Jones, just so you know, if you want me to call you back next week, I definitely can call you back next week. But if you think that just telling me to call you back next week is going to make me stop calling you, it's not. Because I'm working really, really hard on the scholarship. I'm working night and day. I have to complete 15 appointments by Friday. My goal is to be the #1 student in the entire company out of thousands of students. And I'm working my butt off because I'm dedicated, committed, and driven. I have a huge goal. So I would love to meet with you. It would mean the world to me if you could carve out some time for me. But if you're just telling me to call you back because you think it's going to make me stop calling, just know I'm committed, determined. I will never stop calling, until I get a chance to meet with you. So, Ms. Jones, if you don't want to see me and you want to tell me now, we can say both of our times. But if there is any possible way you could squeeze me in over the next 7 days, that is 168 hours, Mrs. Jones. I'm only asking for half a percentage of your time this week. Oh. It would really help me out. Oh. You guys like that?
Yeah.
I'll have to put it in the email. But, well, you guys get my point, though? I'm very, very, very assertive. Don't let your customers walk all over you. 2 reasons why. Number 1, you won't get a demo. Number 2, you'll feel like crap. Okay? Even if you're going to say no to me, I want to feel good. I want to know I stood up for myself. Who's ever been on an appointment where someone had Cutco and they like kind of liked it, and you're sitting there like, what the hell is wrong with you? Right? Don't leave that demo without standing up for Cutco. That's something I'm very big on. I went on an appointment, and I took my manager field training, actually, a while back, and I went and saw this lady had a clubmate. So it's all beat up, you know, a spatula spreader trimmer, that's it. She had it for like 10 years, and it's all dull and messed up. And we're talking, I'm talking about sharpening and whatnot. She's like, well, you know, with all the things people spend money on these days, and the economy and stuff, like, people just don't spend money on knives. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, I had just had a customer walk all over me, and I let them do it, and I'm like, you know what? No, she's going to hear what I really think about this. So, right? I was like, Mrs. Jones, I totally know why you think that, but everyone spends money on knives. She looks at me, I'm like, everyone I see spends money on knives, and here's why. Because even in the worst house I go to, they have a $1,000 to $1,500 fridge. And it gets replaced every 10 to 15 years. And they have a $1,000 to $1,500 dishwasher that gets replaced every 10 to 15 years. Even in the worst house, right? They spend thousands and thousands and thousands in their kitchen. Mrs. Jones, how much would the worst kitchen remodel cost you? At least 10 grand. She's like, you're right. And I'm like, so it just makes sense for somebody to make a small investment in the tools they're going to use every single day for the rest of their life and never have to invest in again. Does that make sense? What do you think she bought that day? You're not... Better. Cutco kitchen upgrade. All the flatware, all the cookware, all the knives, because I stood up for Cutco. Be assertive. Okay? So, next. Guys, when I talk about personality, my favorite thing, those of you that were at my breakout on the phones last year, this was the main topic I talked about, but it is to radiate energy. You might want to write that down. Radiate energy. I literally want a picture, a ball of energy, like in my stomach, like it's glowing, it's bright, it's permeating through my body, it's radiating out of me. Everyone around me can feel it. Who can feel the energy right now? Raise your hand. I want that to come through the phone into them, and they feel it. And they're like, I like that guy. They don't know why, but they physically feel it. It's in my voice. It's in the way I'm talking. Okay? If you have that energy on the phone, they're going to see you. Matthew Kelly says, people are attracted to fourth level energy. They can't help it. It's like a magnet. People are attracted to fourth level energy. I always joke, that's why people like Justin Ledford or Rob Brandt, people like them because why? Because they have fourth level energy. You know? They have that fourth level energy, just see it. I'm like, how can you not like John Vroman? For example, who felt some fifth level energy from Vroman? Yeah. It's crazy. But have fourth level energy on the phones. Okay? Now, let's talk about, really quickly, I want to give you guys a little acronym I like to do to describe personality on the phones. It's SUAVE, S-U-A-V-E, and it stands for something. The S in SUAVE stands for smile. I'm not going to spend time talking about smile. You all know to smile. But really quickly, everyone, if you smile ear to ear, as big as you can, the biggest cheese and smile you can give. Really quickly, think about something happy. How many of you are neg? None of you, because you can't be. It's impossible, right? You cannot be mad no matter how hard you try. Like, I'm trying to be neg and I'm not, right? But the idea is that if you're smiling on the phone, your customers can feel it. All right? U stands for urgency. I think I pretty much explained urgency with that last line, right? You guys get it? Okay? But I'm the 168 hours thing, you guys, urgency. Okay, cool. A is anticipate. Anticipate that they will pick up the phone. You are going to answer. A lot of people believe in the law of attraction. I'm not saying, even with that aside, if you don't think they're going to pick up, you'll probably hang up faster. Right? I literally, when I call, I picture that they're running to the phone, they've got a kid in their hand, they're cooking dinner, they've got a dog they're picking up, they've got all this stuff going on, and they're trying to dive and catch the phone before I don't pick up. And I'm waiting to that last ring. Anticipate. The V stands for voice inflection. Voice inflection is the difference between a champ on the phones and a chump on the phones. It's your voice inflection. It's simple. Listen to the speakers this weekend. The people with the best voice inflection are the ones you guys like to listen to. Think about it. If I start to talk like this, everyone in this room's attention is right up here. And if I get excited, and I sound fired up and excited, who would be excited? Raise your hand and yell, I'm excited. I'm excited. See the difference? Voice inflection. But if I go up there and say, guys, who's excited? They're like, yeah, I'm kind of excited. Right? Voice inflection. The last letter, E, is enthusiasm. I am so excited to meet these people. Like, Broman said something perfect in his breakout for the CSPs on Thursday night. He said, treat everyone like a rock star. And I thought about it. I was like, we can apply that to the phones. Treat every customer like a rock star. Like, you would love to meet them. They're a celebrity. If you got referred to like some ridiculous rock star, who here would be calling them a crazy trying to get a demo? And you do anything you can to get in their door. Raise your hand. Treat them like that, okay? So that's how to be suave on the phones. Really quickly, urgency games though, I gotta throw these out there. Urgency games, I gotta give you guys a couple examples. I like to play little games to create urgency. Number one is Doritos. You eat one Dorito for every demo you book. Try not to eat another one. Okay, you're gonna be booking demos like crazy. Number two is you pull out some ice cream, you stick it right there, and you can't eat it till you book 5. Yeah, it sucks if it melts. Number three, mostly for you ladies out there, if you like to bake anything, cookies, brownies, set them in the oven, and then book a number of demos more than it should take, you know, in that amount of time, and hope that you don't burn them. If you are a student, how many students are out there? Raise your hand. It's really easy. Book 2 demos before class. Any day. Have to go to class? Gotta book a demo first. Alright? Next one. Eat some really hot food, but don't drink water until you book the demo. Okay? When you have to pee, you go, wait, let me book a demo first. And you don't go pee until you book a demo. The last one is you run out into oncoming traffic and you don't move until... So, we'll move on, but lastly, that E, that enthusiasm. I wanted to say 60 to 70% of communication is non-verbals. You don't get that 60 to 70% when you're not in person. So what does that mean? You have to overdo your enthusiasm on the phone. If I was just telling someone, if I was working one-on-one with Jose right now, right? Let's say I pull you out the side, and we're just talking about this topic. Am I going to talk to you the way I'm talking in this room right now? No, I'm going to talk to you like, hey, dude, here's what you do. Right? But you have to be overly enthusiastic if you want them to book on the phone. Don't just smile. Don't just be kind of excited. Be overly excited so they can hear your body language over the phone. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. It kind of doesn't make sense, but it's cool. So, let's talk about the next thing, right? Let's talk about wording. Wording. Wording is the art of that a skilled phone master has mastered. Wording. One of my favorite lines is, squeeze me in. I know you're probably crazy busy, but I was wondering if you could just squeeze me in. Ask yourself this, would I want to see myself? If you recorded your phone call, and that's who called you, would you book the demo? If the answer is no, get better. It's that simple, right? I laugh when I hear people say stupid stuff on the phone. I'm like, would you have said yes to you? I would have hung up and said you're an idiot. I'm being honest, right? Could you book yourself? What would it take for you to book yourself? For you to hear in a student or a business professional, what would you need to hear to make you want to see them? All right? Next is use an approach. Everyone's heard this before. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but here's why I say it. A lot of reps that are good don't have a definite approach anymore. Get something on paper. If you want to use someone else's, use someone else's. If you want your own, write it. Write your own approach. I have my own approach. It's my words. It's no one else's. Written out and there when I'm making calls. Just in case. Always have your approach. If I couldn't test you 10 times throughout the weekend in random times, and word for word your approach would be the same, you're not ready to do it without an approach. Okay? It's that simple. If you want a really good approach, go to that Scholarship Revolution coaching page. There's an awesome approach there. Okay? So, second is avoid weak phrasing. Avoid weak phrasing. Weak phrasing gets weak answers. Words like maybe. Could I see you? I was wondering if I could swing by maybe at 7. And they're like, sure, maybe. All right. I might have just booked a demo. Right? Like, maybe I should put in my planner? I don't know. Right? Or, I'd like to see it around 7. Sure, that sounds great. Is around 7, 7:15? Is it 6:50? Is it 6 o'clock? I had an old lady tell me she wanted to see me come by anytime around 5. I was like, what do you mean around 5? Like, what time are you available? She goes, anytime afternoon. That's around 5? That's not even close to 5. Get a definite answer. Okay? Like is not a good word. It's weak phrasing. I was wondering if I could see it at like 6. Yeah, you can see me like at 6. And you're like... Right? Hoping. I hate the word hoping on the phone. I was hoping you could see me. No, I know you're going to see me. Okay, I'm not going to say I know, by the way, but it's like, Miss Jones, so I was wondering if there's any way you could possibly just squeeze me in really quickly at this time or that time. Everyone here knows to offer 2 times, right? If you don't offer 2 times, always. Don't offer 3, don't offer 1, don't offer 0. If you don't have 2 times, this is the one place, a lot of people know to offer 2 times, but they don't know what to do when there's only 1 time available. Here's what you say. Mrs. Jones, I was wondering if I could swing by at 3, or would 3:10 be better? Mrs. Jones, I was wondering if I could swing by at 3, or I could come even later at 3:15. Which of them were better for you? That's simple. Always offer 2 times. My favorite line to use on the phones you might want to write down is, I will be the highlight of your day. Ms. Jones, you might not know this yet, Ms. Jones, but I'm telling you, I will be the highlight of your day. Aim to be the highlight of their day. Another great line is, she didn't say you'd get anything, but she thought you might not mind taking a quick look to help me out. Say one more time. Susie told me to give you a call. She said she wasn't sure whether or not you'd actually get anything, just that you'd have a lot of fun with it, and you probably wouldn't mind taking a quick look to help me out. She didn't say you'd get anything is a key line that a lot of people skip. All right? Other things for wording. These are my big keys to how to take your efficiency from good to great. Right? The first one is name dropping. When you can name drop other people you've seen, you're gonna go. Your results are gonna go through the roof. I remember I started from scratch from a private school directory once, and I was cold calling the entire book. I don't recommend it, nor does the company tell you to do that. But basically, I knew 2 kids that went to the school, and I used their names to book 1 or 2 other people in that grade. I called them up and said, "Hey, I'm a friend of. I don't know if my name rings a bell or not. I'm a friend of Daniel Minko. He went to school with your daughter Susie." They're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, he told me Susie was really nice, so he thought that you might be nice enough to help me out. Something I'm working on." Right into the approach. Well, I said no. Once I booked 3 or 4, though, the next person I called, I'm like, "Yeah, I actually was just over to see, or I'm going over to see the Smiths, the Joneses, the Browns, and the Johnsons. They've all been having a blast with it, and your name came up too. They thought that you might not mind taking a quick look to help me out." Now, here's the key. When you get to like 10 or 15, you can ramble them off. That's when you're like going to book everybody. Like once I had 10 or 15 from that book, I actually pull up my planner and be like, "I don't know if you know the Smiths, the Browns, the Joneses, this, that family, this family, that family, this family, that family, this one, that one, this one, that one, that one, this one, and this one, and this one. Do you know any of those people?" And they're like, "Yeah, I know like all those people." And you're like, "Yeah, they've all had fun with it. They've all been seeing me. They thought it was your turn. You know, you might not mind taking a quick look. Help me out." Done. Done deal. They can't say no. 25 people they know saw you. They're going to feel like the oddball out. Right? All right. Next is pace yourself. Pace, smooth, be in control. Who's seen Boiler Room before? Raise your hand. You guys know the scene? If you haven't seen it, look this up. Vin Diesel on the phone at Boiler Room, and he runs and he grabs the phone to close this dude, and everyone in the whole room, it's like this, is listening to him on speakerphone. And he knows what's going to happen before that even happens. Like, he's talking to the guy, he's like, "Now the maximum amount of shares you could possibly pick up is 10,000. And he goes, puts the phone down, and the guy's like, "What? 10,000? That's a lot. That's a lot of 10,000. I wasn't thinking that big." And he goes, and all of a sudden you hear, "Well, why can't you sell me 10,000? And he's like, jumps in, and then he stops, and he jumps in. You get what I'm saying? Like he's 2 steps ahead of them. Pace yourself on the phone. Like I like pretend people are listening to me on the phones, and I would prove how nasty I am on the phones to them. Like if I'm walking around the office, I'm like, "Yeah, listen to this line. Great. Okay, perfect, Susie." And it's like, you know, and then you throw something out. You guys get what I'm saying though? Like you want to be pacing yourself. Okay? The next thing I wanted to talk about is sounding simple. We already talked about that. Next one, use your qualifying notes. This is money, money, money. This is one of the golden nuggets you guys all get from this talk. You ready? When you qualify people, get something unique about them on a piece of paper. I do not care what it is. Let me give you an example. I have a sheet of recs, and this guy wrote out things like, okay, this guy hunted monkeys in Taiwan. This lady's obsessed with Taco Bell. This guy's the biggest Florida Gators fan you'll ever meet. This lady will whoop you in chess. This person will beat you in tennis. And literally, I write all these things out, and then I call them. Even if they say something about the person, like I saw this old lady, she's like, "Oh, that lady is super duper." Wrote that down. I called her up. Betty, Susie didn't just say you were awesome. She told me that you are super duper, and that you might not mind taking a quick look to help me out. They want to feel that personal connection. Susie told me you're a whiz at tennis. Susie told me you're great at chess. Whatever it is, something that's actually about them that you're not. Yeah, she told me you're nice. Okay, so I'm just another number on a list. No, like you were Susie, the amazing apple pie baker. That's who you are. Is this the Susie that makes great apple pies? Yeah. How did you know? You're right. Get something about them. Use that. That's a golden nugget right there. You guys will use it. You'll see a huge difference. Firming up. I'm not going to go over my firm up, but I'll give you a couple lines from it. It's also posted. One of my favorite things is when you book a demo and you're like saying something along the lines, "Okay, Ms. Jones, so you have it in your planner," or "You write this down." Now, if you could just stick that somewhere where you see it so you definitely don't forget about me. And then I'll use to tell a story. This shows, I know you would never do this or never forget, but I actually had this lady, or like, here's what I use. If they ask, let's say, for your number, or they give you some reason why they might not work, an indefinite answer, like, "Oh yeah, call me before you come," or one of those. Ms. Jones, I can definitely do that, but the only thing is last week, I went all the way out to see this really nice lady, drove all the way out to see her, and she actually forgot about me. Or if it's canceled the demo, like they asked for the number, she actually called me at the last second just to cancel. Here's the line. And it totally killed my scholarship goal for the week. And I just want to make sure that never, ever, ever happens to me again. Let's do that one more time. You guys like that one? All right. I went all at this lady, and she wasn't even there, and it totally killed my scholarship goal for the week. And I just want to make sure that never happens again. Totally killed my scholarship. Now, those of you that aren't students, it totally killed my goal for that week, and I only got a half a week's paycheck. Where I have to complete 6 appointments by Friday to get a full week's pay. Some people will be like, all right, I get that. You know? You guys want a couple other golden nuggets? Yeah. Who's learned something so far? Raise your hand and say, I have. I have. Awesome. Now, let's see. Oh, the totally heartbroken line. This is my very favorite line. Can I have your phone number? Sure, Mrs. Jones. You could definitely have my number. The only thing is, you have to promise me that you're not going to use it just to call me and cancel, because I would be totally heartbroken. Oh, so nice. They actually say that sometimes. They're like, "Aw, I'm totally heartbroken. I want to meet them." Same thing with like, if they don't give me that objection, I usually use it on the phone later. Like, hey, Miss Jones, just take that sheet where you're all my info down, stick it somewhere you see it, slap it on the fridge so you definitely don't forget about me. Because I would be totally heartbroken if I got all the way out there and you weren't even going to see me. And they always laugh. Another thing for firm up. Who here wants to learn how to book a couple weeks in advance? Raise your hand and say, I do. I do. Without it not happening. Who's ever learned not to book way in advance because they might not show up? Raise your hand. Here's how you do it. You just tell them. You address it ahead of time. Same way you handle objection before it comes up. Same thing. Ready? Let's say I booked you for August 31st, 2011. All right, Miss Jones, I have you in my planner, in my schedule for August 31st, 2011 at 7 o'clock p.m. Now, Miss Jones, I realize that is 3 or 4 months from now, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in your life in the next 3 months, or let's say it's 2 weeks from now. I know it's 2 weeks from now. You've probably got a ton of stuff to do. You're obviously crazy busy if you can't see me for 2 weeks. So I know it'd be really easy for you to forget about me. Remember at that. I know it will be really easy for you to forget about me, but I already have you in my planner. I definitely won't forget. I've got classes, I've got exams, I've got that, but I will definitely be there August 31st, 2011 at 7 p.m. There's no chance of me not making it at 7 p.m. on August 31st, 2011. So just stick it wherever you need to make sure that come 3 months from now, without me having to call you 10 times to remind you, that you'll remember it just like I will. Who here thinks that would work? Raise your hand. All right, cool. Raise 2 hands if you're Dan Miller, Ambassador of Fun. Can you repeat that? All right, yes, I will. So, who got it? Anyone else want to repeat? All right, so, did you get any of it? What part did you get?
Okay, so this is like when you're booking like next week or something after.
Next week, okay, yeah. Sorry, I forgot exactly which line I just said. Basically, you want to say to them, Ms. Jones, I know it would be really easy to forget it. I have you scheduled for blank amount of time from now, 2 weeks from now. I know a lot of stuff's going to happen in your life. It would be really easy for you to forget about me, but I will definitely be there. I have you in my schedule. I will definitely see you, 7 o'clock. Just repeat the time. I say the time like 3 or 4 times if you can't tell. So it's like, I will see you definitely at 7 o'clock, August 31st, 2011. Looking forward to seeing you then. If you really want to, you can do heads-up texts or heads-up emails. I'm not big in that. I just want them to show up. My doctor tries to set me up like 4 months in advance. And I hate that. I'm a college kid. Like, do I have a clue what I'm doing in 4 months? No. But if they put me in the schedule, they're not going to call me 15 times to remind me. They'll give me 1. Right? Like, I'm basically saying, you're an adult, I'm a kid, I won't forget, you better not. Pretty much. Okay? If they do forget, here's my favorite thing. Just got to teach you guys a little extra nugget, right? The letter. Just got no-showed. Okay? Funniest letter you can leave. Roses are red, violets are blue, I was here, where were you? Perfect. It works every time. They always call you back, they're like, that's funny. Roses are red, violets are blue, I was here, but where were you? Okay? It's like, I'm just kidding, Mrs. Jones. I bet you probably forgot, or something probably happened, or you're late from work, or whatever. I want to make sure everything's okay. Something along those lines, right? All right, who wants to keep going? Say, look, turn to your neighborhood and say, I just learned something sick. Okay, cool. Let's talk about methods. Actually, wait, I got to give you guys two more quick. One quick thing, one more quick nugget. firm up text, or end of phone jam text. Whoever got the person that can't write down the firm up, raise your hand. Mr. Jones, you get text messaging. Yes, I'm going to text you my confirmation number and all the info. Let me tell you what the confirmation number means. So you go through your firm up on the phone, and then you text the information to them. Okay? Or email it to them. Now they have it. Text at the end of a phone jam. Let's say you're going and you're calling them, hey, I have to do 6 appointments by Friday. You know, and you're telling, you know, your whole thing, and you book them. And then at the end of your phone jam, you book 6 appointments. You send a text to the 6 people that you booked, and the text says, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I booked all 6 appointments I needed by Friday tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. You know, thanks so much. Appreciate your help. Money, 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 money. It loves getting that. You're dying them into the goal. Okay? So, that is, the family day objection. I got to give you guys the one line that you probably have never heard because I made it up. The family day objection. Who's ever heard like, oh, Sunday's time for family or Saturday's time for family? That's the one I hate because it's like, what the hell do I say to you? Right? Like, Sunday's family day. It's really easy. Perfect, Mrs. Jones. How many of you guys are going to be there? How many people in the family? How many of you are going to be there? The family's going to love it. I've got tricks for the kids, stuff to show you. So would 7 or 9 be better for you? It's all in how you react. Like, if someone has Cutco, some reps will respond, oh, you have it already? Who sold it to you? Oh, psh, Aaron. He gets everybody in Orlando. You know, it's like, or you'd be like, oh, you have Cutco? That's awesome. That's even better. Now I don't have to go through all the stuff you already know about. Like, you've already seen the penny get cut and the rope and all that. I'll be in and out before you know it. It'll help me out a ton with my scholarship. So would 7 or 9 be better for you? Right back in offering times. You guys get what I mean? Always like, responding like they gave you the perfect thing to say. So, last thing we're talking about is methods. This is the part that when I send you guys the email, it's really going to help out a ton because you're going to get the voicemail approach. But here's the voicemail approach really fast. The first thing is leave voicemails, by the way. Now, who's here's been taught do not leave voicemails? Raise your hand. It's because your managers don't know how to leave a great voicemail. There are 4 things that make somebody not call you back from a voicemail. You might want to write these down. Number 1 is a fear of confrontation. They don't want to have to say no to you. They just avoid it. Right? Just like a customer that sends a nasty email and you're like, man, I have to call them. Right? Number 2 is they're too busy. Too busy. They're doing a ton of stuff. They're like, yeah, I'm definitely too busy for this. Number 3 is it lacks urgency. And number 4 is it offers no value or not important. Offers no value. So number 1, fear of confrontation. Number 2 is too busy. Number 3, it lacks urgency. And number 4 is you offer no value. Here's how you fix all 4 of those. Who wants to learn? Raise your hand. All right.
Yeah.
The 4 things get covered with this approach. Hi, Susie. This is Aaron Ludin giving you a call. I know my name probably doesn't ring a bell. I'm a friend of your friend Betty. She actually told me to call you. She told me she thought you might be nice enough to help me out with something I've been working on for school. So if you could just, I know you're really busy, but if you could give me a quick call back at your convenience, I'd really appreciate it. My phone number is 407-69, and I take my number, repeat it, right? Here's the key, though. You repeat it, and you go, if you get this message by about 11 o'clock tonight, you can feel free to give me a call back. If not, I should be available as early as 7:15 tomorrow morning. Just give them 2 crazy times that people don't ask you to call them back during. That creates the urgency. I've heard some people say, oh, it's really important. It's not really important. When they find out you're calling about knives, they're going to think you're stupid for telling them it was important because it's not important to them, right? So you want to basically give them a weird time, weird window to call you back so it sounds important. Does that make sense? So if you get this message, you can call me as late as 11 o'clock tonight, as early as 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thanks so much. I look forward to hearing from you in the next couple of days. Yep. I'm going to send this out to all you guys, but basically, it's just, it's really simple. This is Aaron. I don't know if my name rings a bell or not. I'm a friend of your friend Betty. She told me she thought you might be nice enough to help me out with something I'm working on for school. Here's my phone number. If you give me a quick call back at your convenience, I'd really appreciate it. The big line you just need to know is pretty much your phone approach, but then if you get this message by about 11:30 tonight, feel free to call me back. If not, I'll be available as early as 7:30 tomorrow morning. Now, some people hear that and they go, what happens if they call you 11:30? Usually I don't pick up. That's what happens. But they did call me. Okay? If you want to pick up, that's great. That's even better. But my thought is, imagine only booking the people that call you back. Think about this for a second. Here's why voicemails are going to revolutionize your business. Because a customer will qualify themselves by calling you. Think about it. If somebody hears my voicemail, all it says is, they thought you might be nice enough to help me out, and they call me back to say, what can I help with? They are going to listen to my goals. It doesn't tell me that they cook. It doesn't tell me how much money they have, but it does tell me they're going to be enrollable in my goals. Does that make sense? And I know if I enroll them in my goals, I'm going to sell them Cutco, right? They're qualifying themselves. So if you can get your business to the point where you have so many names and numbers that you call 30 people a day, Monday through Friday, you leave 30 messages or book whoever picks up, you're going to book 3, 4, 5 appointments every single day of the week, and the job's going to look easy. No more 6-hour phone jams and, big phone jam on this day. No, make 30 calls a day. It takes you about 30 minutes to an hour. Whoever doesn't pick up, doesn't matter whether you call at 7 a.m., 10 p.m., midday, horrible phone times. Leaving messages is just as effective as reaching people. That's the misconception that most people don't understand. Leaving messages is just as effective as reaching people if you leave a good one. Service call voicemails is pretty much the same thing, except for I'll say to them, your knives are due for service. Please give me a call back, even if you don't want your knives sharpened. Even if you don't want your knives sharpened, so I know whether or not to follow up with you in the future. I'll post that online too, because I only have about 3 minutes. Okay? So even if you don't want them sharpened, give me a call back so I know whether or not to follow up with you in the future. If they don't call me, I will leave them another message next week, and the next week, and the next week, and the next week, until the service call tells me yes or no. Customers, imagine, guys, having a point in your business where you don't ever have to call the same person twice. I do not have to call the same person twice when my business is kicking on all cylinders. I don't. It's not necessary. I'll grab that at the end. Cool. It's not necessary. You just don't need to. Now, am I saying you should never call someone twice? No. If you need to call someone twice, call them twice. Call them 10 times if you have to. But build your business so big you don't need to call someone twice. That you only see the people that qualify themselves by calling you back. Okay? The second voicemail I'm going to post online is basically, hey, I promised Susie I'd get in touch with you this week. So please, I gave Susie my word I'd reach you this week. So please don't make me call you again. Here's my number. Blah, blah, blah. Same approach. Cool? Let's see. Oh, here's a couple quick other methods. Ready? Set a no goal. Set a no goal. It's really easy to tell me how many demos you want to book, but how many no's do you want to get on the phone? What do I mean by that? You need to book 3 demos, right? And you get on the phone, you make 4 calls, you book 3, what happens? You're done. But what if I told you, hey, get 5 no's? Set a no goal. 2 things happen. 1, you book more yeses, and 2, when you get a no, you're like, yes! Right? Somebody says no, you're like, sweet! I got a no! Right? It makes your phone time feel so much better. Set a no goal. There's a book called Go for No. I can't remember who it's by, but you should buy it. That's where it came from. Alright? Here's another line. Call them at the time that you want to see them. Who here likes to do appointments during the day? Raise your hand. Who here has trouble reaching people that are home during the day sometimes? Raise your hand. It's because you're probably calling at night. You're calling at night to put people that are home during the day. Call during the day. Will there be people that don't pick up? Yes. But they are going to be the same people that won't book. So who cares? Calling during the day is great. I love calling at noon. Why? Because it gives me a great chance to leave messages for people that are working. And then at night, I don't even have to schedule phone time. I just have to have my phone on me. It's noon. I got a little bit of time before lunch. Make 20 calls, make 20 messages. Tonight, I don't even need phone time. I'm just going to sit by my phone, do some other stuff, and 3, 4, 5 customers will call me. Hey, this is Betty. By the way, cherish, I've said this before, but cherish each and every name like they're gold. Like, if you can, try to remember their name. To the point that, like, if Betty Jones calls you back, she's a friend of Susie. When she calls you, like, oh, it's Betty that bakes apple pies. How are you, Betty? Like, you actually know who the referral is. They're not just a name and number that you skim through. Are you going to remember them all? No. But treat them like they're gold. Like, if I don't reach them, I'm going to find a way to reach them. If you don't reach them, you've called them, you've left a message, you try to couple things, call the customer back and ask them. Say, I have not been able to reach your friend Betty. What's another way to reach her? Can I have her email address? Treat them like gold. You want a yes or a no from every name you get. Okay? Commit to the effort without emotional attachment to the results. Commit to the effort without emotional attachment to the results. If I make 30 calls a day, I don't need to tell you what will happen. I will sell enough that week. Period. If my phone time goes horrible the first 3 days, it'll be okay. If it goes great the first 3 days, it'll be okay. But commit to the effort, the activity, the number of calls without worrying about what happened on that jam. Because if you leave 30 messages, you're going to feel like you booked nothing. But imagine when you make 30 or 40, who's ever made 100 calls or reached like 2 people and left no messages, and you're like, well, that's dead energy. I'm never going to get a demo from that. But when you leave 100 messages, do you think you'll probably get a bunch of demos? Yeah, you feel great that you did phone time because it was productive, because you didn't get the result yet, but you have that delayed gratification because you know someone will call. Okay? So, set a no goal. The last 2 things I want to leave you with is the last thing I want to leave you with is a question. You guys want to write this down. When you make calls, are you phone jamming or are you getting appointments? Are you phone jamming or are you getting appointments? When I talk to people like, what are you doing? I'm jamming. No, you are getting appointments. I am scheduling appointments, however it has to come. I'm not just, I'm going through the motions of making calls. I'm sitting here, no one's picking up. I'm just calling. No. I am getting appointments. I am intense. I am driven. I'm passionate. I will get appointments. Okay? You guys like that right there? So, I want you guys to picture, again, you're walking by that room. All right, close your eyes real quick. You're walking by the room. Who can see what they want in there? Real vivid. Everything you want. The summer you want. The big pushes you want. The car, the house, all that stuff. And you're walking by this room. And you remember to have the right attitude, the right personality. Master your wording and master your methods. And I guarantee that every single one of you will unlock that door this summer. Thank you guys so much for being here. And give yourselves a round of applause.
All right, guys, give Aaron Ludin another hand, guys. Big round of applause, Aaron Ludin. All right. Okay, guys, we got about 15 minutes to rotate around, okay? Now, there's going to be another talk right in this same spot that's going to be on, let's see. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Aaron wants to plug something, right?
2 quick things. One is whoever has a sheet, I need it back. If you haven't signed the sheet, come find me. Second thing is tomorrow morning at 8:15, I'm giving an even better talk called The Art of Closing. Just show up. It'll be awesome. Thanks.
All right, perfect. Also, if you did not get the sheet, but you would like to get Aaron your information, you can write it on any piece of paper and hand it to him, okay? That way he can make sure and get it. In this same spot, Hubert Fan will be coming up, and he will be speaking on recommendations in this same spot. All right, guys, you got 15 minutes. Find which breakout you need. If you have any questions, let us know.
I'm just going to get out of here real quick. Yeah.